There's every one of us in this room, I bet, has some kind of a keepsake that was passed down to us from a relative. Something that maybe at one point in our lives we wouldn't have really paid much attention to, but stuff happens that makes the stuff happen. I'm just curious, what are some of the... Does anybody have something here you had that your dad ever had his hands on?
Grandmother.
Well,
My grandmother's ring.
My Legion hat.
your Legion, you still have your dad's Legion hat? Wow,
All right.
Good.
that's impressive. I asked at one time, I said, how many, anybody here have something your dad, you still have that your dad had his hands on? He said, yeah. I said, what? He said, my mom. Program was over at that point. I couldn't say anything more. How about, I have a couple of things that my dad had. My dad had I have it now, it's a Swiss Army knife, a red Swiss Army knife. And when I was about 6, my mom put me in my parents' bedroom one afternoon to take a nap. And of course I wasn't interested in napping because my dad had a chest of drawers that was full of treasure. You know, he had bullets in there and just cool stuff, knives and stuff. And I found this red army knife, and before I knew it, my hands were all cut up because I had to open all the blades, and I wasn't really proficient at handling knives at 6. So I had to show my mom. And after I got done, getting bandaged up, I got in trouble. But then I couldn't figure out why she put me back in the room with a knife like 3 feet away again. But then you have to understand, these are the same parents who used to put my brother in the top bunk knowing that he was a chronic sleepwalker. True story right there. He's the scars of it. You can see it. It's amazing. I have a sweater that used to belong to my dad. I don't know why I kept the sweater, because it was one of these sweaters like when you're a kid growing up and your parents wear like stupid old folks clothes. The kind that our kids think we wear now. This was like that old sweater my dad wore that looked like it must have belonged to his grandpa. But something about the sweater stuck in my mind. When my dad died, I was 17. I took this sweater and I put it in a box and I saved it, wrapped it up nice. It just reminded me of my dad. And about a month and a half ago, I guess I was moving from one residence to another, and I found this box. And I was so excited to find this sweater. I'd forgotten all about it. I pulled it out, and it still smelled like his aftershave. Aqua Velva or something like that. And I held it up, and the funny thing was it looked so much smaller to me than I remembered. But I'm pretty sure it hadn't shrunk. Yeah, that's the world that changed for me, How about cars? Anybody here remember the first car your folks had? Holler out some names of cars. A what? A 48 Plymouth. Yeah. That 51 Pony, the kind with the safety bumper, right? Or the safety dashboard, right? Solid steel? Just in case? Yeah. What was it? No seatbelts. Hey, we survived anyway, didn't we? Yeah. My parents had a 59 Ford Falcon. And it's amazing. At our age, and I say our age because we're all mature. Some of the stuff that we wouldn't have given a plug nickel for when we were young holds an awful lot of meaning now. And here's a song about that 59 Ford Falcon. Dust on the dashboard, rust on the back door. But Daddy paid cash for that old 4-door Ford Fairlane. Bottle on the floorboard, the butts in the ashtray, where he sat and talked to Mama after she passed away. Sitting on some good years, parked there in the driveway. But he just let it go. A hand-carved minnow hanging from a cane pole, laying in the trunk, ready to go in case we passed a hole we just had to fish. crack in the window where Dad pitched me one. Soft and low, he had to duck his head. Mama said, I guess he's got the hang of it. Until now I didn't know why he never got that window fixed. But he just let it go. The carburetor needs a kit. The driver's side visor split. It's getting a little hard to shift, and the knobs are missing the radio. It's lost its glossy candy apple shine. The ink is fading on the for sale sign. The only driver that car ever owned. First $1 million takes it home. Remember when they didn't have such a thing as automatic transmission? The 3 on the tree was tough. My feet barely reached the clutch, but Daddy'd let me fire it up, back it out and pull it in. Then in the fender, I sat in the seat where I found the pin that fell from her hair the night that me and Becky lost it. 16 when I stole those keys. I guess he'd been where we'd been, 'cause he just let it go. The carburetor needs a kick. The driver's side visor split. It's getting a little hard to shift, and the knobs are missing the radio. It's lost its glossy candy apple shine. The ink is fading on the for sale sign. The only driver that car ever owned. First $1 million takes it home. Dust on the dashboard, rust on the back door. I wouldn't take $1 million for that old Ford Fairlane.